Hello friends, I am Miss Shinde Bharti Machindra, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, Sanjeevani College of Engineering. Welcome you in the lecture series of the subject Engineering Mechanics. In the previous videos, we have discussed about unit number 1, that is different type of force systems, and also we have discussed that determination of resultant for different force systems, that is concurrent force system, non-concurrent force system. In that we have studied the different methods, we have solved many number of numericals also. Now in today's video we are discussing unit number 2, equilibrium of force system. The content of unit number 2 is equilibrium of concurrent and non-concurrent forces, types of beams, support, load, reaction of beams, basics of friction, problems with block and ladder friction. Now, introduction. As we have discussed in the previous unit, one terminology, that is resultant, and another is equilibrant. So, in the introduction part, today we are more focused on that terminologies. That equilibrium, a body is said to be in equilibrium when it is at rest under the action of forces, or when a system keeps the body at rest, the system is called to be in a equilibrium. For example, if we are considering any system or we are considering any body, when no forces are applied on that body, it seems to be at the rest or considering it as a equilibrium. Or if the action of forces, whatever the forces acting on that body, the action of all these forces will be said to be opposite or equal, then opposite and equal, then we are considering that body is said to be in equilibrium. Let's say consider a vehicle which is get subjected to 3 number of forces, that is 1 Newton, 2 Newton and 3 Newton. Now as these are the 3 forces in a system, so as we discussed in the previous videos, we can replace any force system into a single forces. A number of forces in a system into a single forces, we called it as a resultant. So based on the same concept, we are replacing these 3 forces into a single force of magnitude 6 Newton, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3, total is 6 Newton force. So this single force we called it as a resultant force. And now further, when I am applying this 6 Newton force in the towards right, and if I am applying the same amount of or same magnitude of force 6 Newton but opposite in direction, that is towards leftward, then these two forces towards right and towards left, positive 6 Newton and negative 6 Newton, the resultant of these two will be equals to 0, and that body is said to be in equilibrium. Hence this force which is same in magnitude but applied opposite in direction, that force we called it as a force of equilibrium or equilibrant. That is, equilibrant of 2 or more forces is a single force which keeps the system in equilibrium. The force which is applied to keep the system in equilibrium is called as an equilibrant or force of equilibrium, and it is equal in magnitude and direction and collinear with the resultant. Whatever the amount of resultant force is here, the same amount of magnitude is the equilibrium force but applied opposite in direction, and both the forces are acting collinear in nature. Therefore we can say that if a system is in equilibrium, its resultant will be equal to 0. That is, the value of R is equal to 0 when the system is to be in equilibrium. As R is 0, it means that the algebraic summation of all the forces in horizontal direction and the algebraic summation of all the forces in vertical direction is 0. Now based on the same thing, there are different equilibrium conditions are applied. Which are those conditions? Let's see. These conditions are mainly divided into two type of force systems, that is concurrent force system and non-concurrent force system. So when a concurrent force system is in equilibrium, it must satisfy two conditions of equilibrium, right? Considering this force system, here F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, five forces are acting and all the forces are passing through the same point. Therefore it is a concurrent type of force system, and as per the definition of equilibrium or equilibrium, it is said that when body or force system is in equilibrium, in that case the resultant value is 0, and based on the same, here two conditions, since the value of R resultant of all these forces in a system is 0, therefore the summation of all the forces in x direction, that is horizontal direction, is 0, and the summation of all the forces in vertical direction is also equals to 0. Means whenever we are resolving these all forces F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 into horizontal and vertical components to find out the resultant value, and as it is said that the system is in equilibrium, that is R is equals to 0, conversely it says that summation of all the forces in x direction and the summation of all the forces in y direction is equal to be 0. So these two conditions are applied in case of concurrent force system when it is in equilibrium. Similarly, non-concurrent force system, here we can see one block is there which is get subjected to four different forces, 20 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton, here again 20 kilonewton and 50 kilonewton, and all the forces are not passing through the common point, means it is a non-concurrent force system. So in case of non-concurrent force system, again when it is in equilibrium, that is since the value of R is 0, summation of forces in x direction and summation of forces in y direction is equal to 0. Along with that, the summation of movement about any point is also equal to be 0. Why this is so? Because summation of movement is equals to R multiplied by the perpendicular distance A. This is based on the Varignon's theorem. The summation of movement about any point of all the forces in a system is equal to the movement developed because of the resultant. So when you are substituting the value of R over here as a 0, it says that the summation of movement about any point is also equals to be 0 in equilibrium. So therefore in case of non-concurrent type of force system, in total there are three conditions of equilibrium, that is summation of Fx0, summation of Fy0 and summation of movement 0. And in case of concurrent force system, two conditions of equilibrium are there, summation of Fx0 and summation of Fy0. Then equilibrium of two forces. When a body is in equilibrium under the action of two forces, the forces must be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, and they must be collinear. For example, here this is a beam, one force P applied in upward direction, another force P is applied in downward direction. So magnitude of both these forces must be equal and the direction of both these forces should be opposite to each other, and as well as they must be collinear. So this we called it as an equilibrium of two forces. This is one figure. Even in the second figure also, P is in upward direction, P is in downward direction. Now equilibrium of three forces. So when a body is in equilibrium under the action of three forces, the forces must be either concurrent or they must be unlike parallel. Again mark this, when a body is in equilibrium and there are three forces in a system, these three forces must be concurrent or they must be unlike parallel. If they are concurrent, they must satisfy the two conditions of equilibrium, that is summation of Fx0 and summation of Fy0. Now considering this figure, here there are three forces shown, F1, F2, F3. So when we are considering these three forces, concurrent forces are in equilibrium, it says that summation of all the horizontal components is equal to 0 and summation of all the vertical components is equals to 0, or they must satisfy the relation of f1 divided by sine of theta 1 equals to f2 divided by sine theta 2 equals to f3 divided by sine theta 3. Now this equation is nothing but we called it as a Lami's theorem. Now let's consider Lami's theorem. See, in case of for Lami's theorem there are mainly three conditions. First condition is that the system should be concurrent force system having three number of forces only. So there are only three number of forces and all the forces should be concurrent. The second thing, all the three forces would be pulling type in nature, means all should be in tension, acting away from the origin. And the third condition is that all these concurrent forces or the system should be in equilibrium. So when a equilibrium system having three forces, three concurrent forces, then in that case Lami's theorem says that the ratio of force to the sine of angle between the remaining two forces is same, that is f1 divided by sine of angle between the remaining two forces. So here remaining two forces are f2 and f3. So f1 divided by sine of f2 and f3 angle is theta 1 is equal to f2 divided by the now remaining forces are f1 and f3. So angle will be theta 2. So sine of theta 2 is equal to f3. Now the remaining forces are f1 and f2 and the angle between them these two is theta 3. So f1 divided by sine theta 1, f2 divided by sine theta 2 equal to f3 divided by sine of theta 3. This relation we called it as a Lami's theorem. Lamy is one of the scientists name who has invented this phenomena. Therefore his name is given to that Lami's theorem. Now next thing, if they are unlike parallel, automatically they will satisfy the three conditions of equilibrium for the non-concurrent forces. Considering three forces, 10 Newton, 20 Newton, 10 Newton, and all the three will be what? Unlike parallel forces. So again in this case, when this is said to be in equilibrium, summation of fx 0, summation of fy is 0 and summation of movement is also 0. For example, 10 Newton downward minus 10 Newton downward minus 10 and plus 20. So the summation of vertical is equal to 0. No horizontal force, that is 0. And movement, all are equally spaced, 2 meter, 2 meter. So movement is also equal to be 0. So this is, we called it as a equilibrium of three forces. So if you want to solve equilibrium of two forces, for concurrent force system, two conditions of equilibrium, for non-concurrent force system, three conditions of equilibrium. And in case of equilibrium of three forces, for concurrent force system, we can apply the conditions of equilibrium fx and fy equals to 0, or we can apply the Lami's theorem also. And for non-concurrent force system, there are three conditions of equilibrium, summation of fx 0, summation of fy 0 and summation of movement is 0. Now the next concept is free body diagram, that is FBD. It is a diagram which shows all active and reactive forces acting on a body. Weight is the active force and reactions are the reactive forces. Free body diagram is a diagram in which all active and reactive forces are to be shown. and in that the self weight of that body or mass of the body is considered as an active force, and all the reactions applied to this force is called as an reactive forces. Now, origin of forces acting on body. There are different origins of forces through which the forces will be act on a body. The first origin of force is gravitational pull, that is nothing but weight. Weight act in vertically downward direction through the CG, that is center of gravity. Now all of we know that whatever the mass of the body or weight of the body, that will be always acting in vertically downward direction, and it is passing through the center of gravity point. The second force is contact with the another body. Whenever two bodies are in contact with each other, each exert a force upon one another through the point of contact. For example, if I am considering two balls and here both the balls would be in contact with each other, so at this point of contact both the bodies will be exerting and force towards each other, that is nothing but so here at the point of contact the force by first on the second and the force by the second on the first. So these forces are called as an reactive forces, and all these reactive forces are always acting at the point of contact. If there is no point of contact, then there will be no reactive forces. Then due to attachment, the third type of force is due to attachment. If there is attachment to another body by means of a string, wire, cable, etc., then there is a tension at the point of contact. It means that if any body is get held by means of attaching a string, a wire or cable, then in that case that force that will develop a force of tension at the point of contact. Now to draw the free body diagram, few steps has to be followed. That is, the first step, isolate the body or detach the body from its surrounding. Whenever we want to draw the free body diagram, in that case the first thing is that we have to isolate the body or detach the body from its surrounding. Whatever the surrounding, if you want to draw a free body diagram of a particular point, of a particular part, then in that case we have to detach that part or detach that point from its surrounding. The second point, indicate all the external forces acting on the body. These forces act at point of contact or where the body is connected with another body by means of a string or cable. Now whenever we are detaching a body from its surrounding, then whatever all the external forces acting on that body, that has to be shown. These forces are shown at the point, these forces are acting in terms of what? At the forces which are acting at a point of contact, or the forces which are acting due to the attachment of the body with the help of string or a cable. Then next step is, known external forces include the weight of the body and the forces acting on it, while the unknown forces are the reactions which oppose a possible motion of a body. It means that if any external force exerting on that body or the weight of the body, that we already know that how much amount of force is exerted on that body externally, or how much is the force exerted due to weight of the body. But the unknown forces are the reaction forces, that is at the point of contact of that particular point or that particular body, how much will be the force exerted due to that point of contact, that is depends on what? Possible motion of a body. Now let's see, for considered here a pendulum having a weight of W get attached by means of this string or cable. This is an assembly of pendulum, that is weight is attached by means of a string or cable. Now if I want to draw the free body diagram for this particular system, then the first thing is that detach it from the surrounding. So here this pendulum is get detached from this attachment. Then weight of the body is acting vertically in downward direction. So this is the force due to the weight of body, that is W. Then second, there is no any point of contact, so no any reactive force due to point of contact. The third thing is that here this weight or this pendulum is attached by means of this string or by means of this cable. So when we are detaching it, there will be a tensile forces or tension forces acting in that string or in that cable. So these tension forces are shown by means of a force T, and it is in the direction of the string. So this is a free body diagram for the given system of pendulum. Now let's see one more system. Here one sphere is there which is held in position by between the two inclined wall. W is the weight of sphere, A is the point of contact with one wall and B is the point of contact with the second one. Now if I want to draw the free body diagram of this system, then the first thing, this is the sphere, so weight of the sphere is acting in downward direction vertically, that is W. Then as there are 2 point of contacts, so at point A and at point B, so here there will be reaction at point A and reaction at point B. Remember, these reactions or normal reactions are always acting perpendicular to the surface. So whatever the surface of the wall, perpendicular to that surface, the normal reaction RA is acting. Similarly, the second wall, perpendicular to that wall, a normal reaction of RB is acting. Then let's see, is there any cable or strings? So no, there is no any cable or string is present over here, so no force or no tension in the string. So here in total there are only 3 forces, one due to weight of the body in downward, vertically downward direction, and RA and RB, the reaction forces at the point of contact A and B respectively. That is, reaction at A and B are always perpendicular to the plane which are removed. Means whatever this plane or face is there of wall A and B, the forces will be acting always perpendicular to that. Similarly, let's see related to some support systems. Now if I am considering this beam which is get supported by means of this roller support, then if I want to draw the free body diagram, so here there at the point of contact of this support or roller support, here one reactive forces is acting, that is RA. Then the second type of beam, now here it is get subjected to triangle or 2 rollers. So the roller support is shown by either a circle or a triangle with a circle. The meaning of both this symbol is same, that is nothing but roller support. And at the roller support there is only one reaction in vertical or whatever the, or it is nothing but the perpendicular to the plane and where it will be acting. For example, if this roller will be located somewhere here, then the reaction will be acting perpendicular to that, that is along this direction. So based on the location of that support perpendicular to that plane, the reaction is shown. Then second type of support is hinged support. Hinge support is shown by means of this triangle with this sphere. Now whenever we are showing the roller, it will be a hollow sphere, but whenever we are showing a hinge support, in that case this sphere will be filled here, right? So whenever it is shown triangle with this circle, this type of support we called it as a hinge support, or hinge support is also shown as only a circle. At the hinge support there are total two reactions, one in vertical and one horizontal reaction, that is HA, a horizontal reaction at A, and VA, a vertical reaction at A. Then fixed support. The fixed support is shown like this, wherever the total end will be get supported. So this type of support we called it as a fixed support, and at the fixed support there are total three unknown reactions acting, one vertical, one horizontal, and a movement MA. So these are the few different type of supports, and based on these supports, when we are drawing the free body diagram of these supports, how it will be shown in terms of the reactions, that will be shown over here. So for roller support, one reaction, hinge support, two reactions, and fixed support, three reactions. So now in our next video we are solving some of the problems based on this equilibrium system of concurrent force system as well as of for non-concurrent force system. So okay, thank you.